If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
Number 8 team in the country, Duke, playing just its second game of the season at full strength with a full complement of freshman phenoms squaring off tonight at Cameron against Bellarmine. Malcolm Huckabee, Mike Monaco with you, and Malcolm, Kyle Filipowski once again, the ACC Freshman of the Week.
Started his career off with 3 straight double-doubles. Right now he leads Duke, 15 points per game and double-digit rebounding. He has become a matchup nightmare, goes 6'11", can handle the ball, can knock down threes. Very difficult matchup with a 6'11" guy that has very few holes in his game offensively.
And a unique matchup for Duke, going up against this Bellarmine offense that has a lot of passing and very little dribbling.
Well, some of the best offense and moving and passing that I've seen in all of college basketball in quite some time. Beautiful actions off the ball, and if you turn your head for a second, they will make you pay. This is going to be a very difficult matchup against this Duke defense.
And Scott Davenport's got his bunch here ready to face Duke, and we said back to full strength on Friday against Delaware. Once again, Derek Lively makes his second career start. Had been coming off the bench the first couple of games on his road back from injury, and Tariq Whitehead will play in his second collegiate game.
And John Shire had a little smile on his face when we asked him, how's it feel to have actually all your guys available to you? And certainly that's a great sign for Duke and their staff, having these guys getting back together. I think more importantly, getting used to playing with each other.
92-58 the win for Duke against Delaware here on Friday. And now Bellarmine in town, and off we go from Cameron. Lively wins the tip back to Roach, and Duke on offense to start. Filipowski, long 2, and he comes up empty, well defended by Bash Whelan.
And John Shire immediately stands up and said, all right, settle down. Not a good look that time. They want him being aggressive. Certainly, though, could get a better look.
And now Bellarmine on offense for the first time, 2-2. They started their season with a win over Louisville. Lost on Friday on the road at Clemson, a very close game. A 1-point game at the under 8 timeout in the second half. Shot clock winding down, and Garrett Tipton back iron from 3. Tyrese Proctor has been playing a whole lot better the last couple of games early on in his career. Filipowski again, strokes it.
Well, that's a nice feed that time by Mark Mitchell. Dribble, drive, kick to Filipowski, and he continues to play really well for Duke.
Tipton gets this one to go. They're not going to shoot a ton of threes, but they're very efficient, and a lot of guys can shoot it from deep.
And that's a key word, efficient. If you turn your back for 1 second against this Bellarmine team, they will make you pay.
Proctor, too strong, got some separation from Tipton. Here's Justin Betts, 6th-year senior, started his career as a walk-on. Whelan playing very good early on this season, the first 4 games. That's with a head fake, and Filipowski didn't bite. On a bounce for Peter Suter, back out for Betts. It's going to be a lot of late shot clock for Bellarmine, comfortably operating offensively. Very deep, and an air ball from Tipton.
That right there is the defensive possession that John Shire said he wanted from his team. You have to be disciplined and patient. You said it, Mike. They're going to work the shot clock. Everybody stayed home. They communicated on the screens, and then they were able to get a contested deep 3 air ball at the end of that shot clock.
Proctor skips it. Ooh, nice touch pass, Filipowski, who gets it back from Roach. Second 3. He is so skilled. Suter shut off. Backs it out for Kurt Hof, 6'8". He can hit it from 3. And a push off on the rebounding action on Jeremy Roach.
And Jon Scheyer is pleased with his team's ball movement. When we asked him what impressed him so much with his team early on, he said, look, they're sharing the ball. No better example than that possession right there. Beautiful find that time by Jeremy Roach.
I mean, you said it, double-doubles in 3 games to start your career, and then you go for 18 and 8. That works too. And shot clock for Suter. Suter, gotta get it up. He kicks it, tipped in, can't hit. And secured by Proctor. A lot of threes early on from Bellarmine. Filipowski, off target right. Lively climbs for the board. Roach, mid-range, no. Another offensive rebound. That was something Scott Davenport was really concerned about, Duke's ability to grab boards offensively.
Yeah, and Bellarmine very unfortunate that time. Duke did not get a second chance point. That was 2 offensive rebounds on that possession.
Betts with a step on Filipowski. He's very comfortable in that mid-post area as a guard. And a foul is called on Derek Lively.
Almost 4 minutes into it, and Jon Scheyer goes to his bench, and something we talked with him about the depth that he has. He really can go 9 or 10 deep with this roster that he has, and not too many teams have that luxury, and certainly that's a good problem to have.
So Whitehead and Young come off the bench. Second time Young coming off the bench for Duke. Good bucket inside from Bash Whelan, senior first-year starter from Cincinnati. He had a career-high 16 on Friday against Clemson. Two more subs getting ready to come in for Duke. Jacob Grandison and Jalen Blakes. Proctor turns it over. Picked off by Alec Freem. 2 in scarlet for Bellarmine. Oh, nice bounce pass, and Freem scores at the rim.
Some of the best offense you will see.
Now off to Cameron Indoor Stadium. Here's Mike Monaco and Malcolm Huckabee.
Wes, Dan, thank you, gentlemen. We take you from down south up to Cameron Indoor Stadium. Just underway the first 5 minutes, and headed to a timeout on the floor between Duke, number 8 in the country, and Bellarmine. Wes and Dan were talking about it. It's a very good Bellarmine team that has already beaten Louisville this season. As we welcome you up top, Malcolm Huckabee, Mike Monaco here with you, and let's talk Duke early on this season. It's, for them, their second game playing with the full complement of stars. You've got Lively, you've got Whitehead, they're back to full health, but the star freshman early on has been Kyle Filipowski.
And he's the only freshman in the storied Duke history to start his career off with 3 straight double-doubles. He is right now leading Duke in points per game and rebounds, and he has become a matchup nightmare. His ability to knock down the 3-ball, but I think what makes him a problem is this right here. His ability to put the ball down on the floor. That's a guy that goes 6'11" with footwork like a 2-guard. He is really difficult to match up with, and I don't think many people thought at the beginning of the season Kyle Filipowski would be the guy to lead them in rebounding and points.
Other side, look at this Bellarmine offense. It's a lot of passing. It's very little dribbling. This was Friday against Clemson.
Any youth sports organization, basketball, should watch Bellarmine run offense. It's a thing of beauty. A lot of movement, a lot of backdoors, a lot of passes. And when we spoke with Jon Scheyer and asked him about this offense, he just smiled. Said, what am I doing playing Bellarmine? But he knows his team, his defense is going to be tested. They're going to get deep into the shot clock. They have to be disciplined, and they're going to have to go the full shot clock and be disciplined with all their communication.
And we've seen that play out early on. Kyle Filipowski has knocked down a couple of threes. That's all the Duke scoring. And then for Bellarmine, with a 1-point lead here early on in the first 5 minutes, they have flowed offensively, and they haven't turned over the ball.
And that's good. The key when you speak to Scott Davenport this afternoon in shoot-around. You look at his storied career, he is really one of the best minds in college basketball. We talked about the offensive movement. He coached with two legendary guys, Rick Pitino, Denny Crum, but right now this Bellarmine offense is really difficult to match up against.
18th season at the helm for Scott Davenport. John Shire, meanwhile, with a 3-1 record so far at the beginning of his tenure. And yeah, he was so excited. Thursday, walking into practice, because he had the full group, Dariq Whitehead was going to play the next day against Delaware. Ended up being a win for the Blue Devils as Whitehead comes back from the fracture in his foot, and Lively back from the calf issue, his second straight start.
Yeah, and he really has the luxury of going 9 or 10 deep. You look at the top recruits that he brought in, obviously the #1 overall recruiting class, but I think the other guys, the transfers he got in, it gives him the luxury really to go with multiple lineups, and they're talented. And I think the big thing that he told us this afternoon, they're sharing the ball. When they share the ball, he thinks they really can be a really good team.
And talk about the depth. They have tapped into it early on. Whitehead came in earlier along with Ryan Young. They're out there with Blakes and Grandison. So going 9 deep in the first 5 minutes for John Shire's group. And here's this Bellarmine offense that we talked about. Suter turns it over. Roach the pick. Whitehead the stuff.
As much as we talk about all the new faces, to me, though, Jeremy Roach is the most important player on this Duke roster. Still something you cannot do against this Duke team. And then one of the best lead guards, Jeremy Roach, with a beautiful dime for a dunk.
Here's Peter Suter matched up with Roach. Suter, the freshman and the leading scorer for Bellarmine, on a follow-away that didn't go. And a foul on the rebounding action goes against the Knights.
And Coach Davenport said this is what we cannot do against this team. They're just too good in transition off of turnovers, set up by Jeremy Roach with the overplay. And I can't say enough about what he means to me, one of the best guards in college basketball.
You said it. You think most important player. John Shire said the same thing to us at shoot-around today. Grandison was looking for Young on the post entry, but Grandison played so well Friday against Delaware off the bench. And he can stroke it from 3.
That's an excellent offensive possession. Unselfish play that time, and Ryan Young with the kick back out. Excellent spacing by Duke and patience.
So a 4-point lead, just over 6 minutes in for the Blue Devils. Justin Betts came up to get it. He takes the bump and the foul on Whitehead. That's a 6th-year senior, #1 in Scarlet for Bellarmine. Boy, it was fun chatting with him today. What an impressive young man.
Yeah, they really, so much energy, and again, watching them on film, it's been a long time since I've seen a team run their offense the way that they do. Ball movement, player movement, pinpoint passing. The other thing John Shire said, watch out their guards. They practice a lot of post defense, the Duke guards did, because they will post their guards off of these backdoor cuts.
Suter gets a friendly and elongated roll on the mid-range jump shot. At the rim, Jeremy Roach. Suter on the drive, shut out by Whitehead. Here's Ben Johnson, he can shoot it from deep. Extra pass, Suter. Off the mark, and the rebound ripped away by Ryan Young. Also against Delaware on Friday. Foul on Bash Wheeland on the reach-in. How fun was it talking to Scott Davenport as well? I mean, it's like the Jim Valvano approach. you might cry, you might laugh, you might yell also in a conversation with him.
He is really entertainment and obviously one of the best coaches in college. Again, the way that they run their offense, it's really a thing of beauty.
Whitehead comes up short from 3. Yeah, the story well told for Bellarmine. We'll get into it as well. We're going to hear from Justin Betts on the topic, but of course, ineligible last year and still this year and next year for the NCAA tournament. This is just their 3rd year as a D1 program transitioning from D2.
There's a lot of rules I don't agree with the NCAA, and this is obviously one of them. And I'll tell you what, right now, some coaches and programs are probably happy that they do not have to see the likes of a Bellarmine come NCAA tournament time for the next 2 years. Hopefully that changes, but they are no box of chocolates to match up against.
And their 3rd ACC team already in their first 5 games. Down 4, first 8 minutes. This is Langdon Hatton, 6'10" transfer from William & Mary. Working on Tyrese Proctor, and Hatton walked with it. And it's a turnover on the Knights.
And that's something we saw in shoot-around this afternoon. That's excellent post defense by Lively. Again, everybody was working on it, including the guards. He said, look, we must hold our ground. We're not going to double off them because they pass too good. You're going to have to make some individual plays defensively in the post.
Yeah, you mentioned that a couple of times. And Chris Carrawell said to the team today during shoot-around, stay down on fakes. So concerned with that post defense, including against guards. It's a bump on Suter, and he picks up the foul. Well, coming up, a message to the NCAA straight from the mouth of Justin Betts.
We felt by not being able to participate after we thought we had earned that opportunity. And just the fact that times have changed since the rule was in place in '95, and that we think that maybe they should reconsider that rule since it's been 25 years and no one has exploited it yet. So kind of a culmination of things that drove me to write the letter. And it may not have changed the decision right away, but our hope is that it does change the decision for people in the future, for teams that do win their conference and should have the chance to play. But yeah, I mean, it wasn't really about me at all. It was more so about my teammates and the people that come and the team in the next 2 years, because I'm going to be gone after this year. But I think that it could serve as a benefit for people playing in the future.
And Justin Betts wrote a letter to NCAA leadership trying to get that rule changed, the transitional rule from D2 to D1, a 4-year process for future teams, if there is ever another team in the situation that Bellarmine found itself in last spring.
And when we spoke to Coach Davenport about this, he was emotional. Again, they knew this coming in, that if they did have a chance to go, they weren't eligible. Doesn't make it's right, but he got emotional talking about the conversation he had to have with those young men in the locker room, knowing obviously all the work that they put in. And it's a shame that they were not able to participate. And I can tell you right now, though, a lot of teams would not want to see this Bellarmine team in NCAA tournament time.
Lively with a good block on Pete Suter. And Duke runs with Blakes. Blakes on the drive. Finishes through the contact. Oh, Jalen Blakes is coming on for the Blue Devils the last few games.
Well, John Shire told us that this is how he wants his team to play. Sharing the ball, excellent spacing, and that right there, another possession. I credit Mitchell not settling for a jumper, making an extra pass. They had excellent floor spacing, and then that's a beautiful finish and concentration by Blakes.
Who John Shire told us pregame affectionately is a pain in the rear. And he said he's really turned around games for us with what he has brought off the bench.
Winning plays, that's what he said. Look, he impacts the game in ways that when it may not be points, his defense, he really said he is a key piece to what we want to do this year.
Duke by 7 midway through the first. Garrett Tipton can't connect on the baseline runner. He's had a lot of shot opportunities so far. He had 21 in the win at Louisville to start the season for Bellarmine. coach on the bench. It's Proctor operating. Coming off another very good performance for him against Delaware. Swirls in a three. And something to say looking at that Bellarmine bench.
Now, that's twice now. Mark Mitchell has made dribble drives, extra pass that have led to wide open jumpers. Yes, Proctor gets credit for the three, but that's all set up by Mark Mitchell. Excellent basketball decision.
A couple times you've said that here these last few possessions. The lead is 10 for the Blue Devils. Whelan working on Proctor and now back out for Betts. Spinning on Mitchell. Stayed down on those fakes and got the block. It's an 8-0 run for Duke. They want more. Blake steps into a three. Comes up short. Mitchell to the loose ball. Extra pass. Mitchell from the corner. Got it. Timeout Bellarmine.
Find out where that road leads. Take on any challenge. When you have the #1 brand in dependability, you stop thinking about what you can't do and start doing what you never thought possible. Kia, movement that inspires.
Small business owners, slow internet is nonsense. You deserve the fastest speeds in the nation. You deserve Spectrum Business. In fact, thousands of independent tests confirm that Spectrum is the clear winner when it comes to speed. The fastest in the nation. Boom! It's that fast. Actually, it's much faster.
It feels like for this Duke team.
Winning plays. Defensively, stayed down on his feet the previous possession. And then right here, extra pass, sharing the ball. Duke right now, their defense solid, but then offensively, I've been impressed with them all making the extra pass. That was an emphasis for John Shire. He repeated himself multiple times in shoot around. Share the ball. That's my message to these guys offensively, and then defensively, in particular against a team like Bellarmine, stay down on the shot fakes and be communicating any ball screens.
You see the 6 assists, that's on 8 made buckets for Duke. And had 7 different players score already in this one. Bellarmine 4.5 minutes without a made bucket until that from Justin Betts from the outside. We said it off the top. Bellarmine does not shoot a ton of threes, but they are efficient. A lot of different guys who can make a three, but it feels like they've had to rely on that so far, the shot from the perimeter.
Yeah, and you're right. People think, all right, this Bellarmine offense, they're a team that shoots a lot of threes. That is not the case. They get a lot of their scores off of backdoor cuts. Their threes, though, when they take them, they're efficient, like that last one right there. But certainly you have to be aware of all the motion and movement.
Filipowski with post entry for Lively, passing out of the bubble. Proctor, just gorgeous offense again. Boy, Lively now, a couple games in a row. He has passed out of double teams and thrown darts as Alec Freem scores at the rim. He's had a couple of buckets playing through some backhand hit pain.
And that's what's impressed me a lot about Derek Lively. His passing. That last pass, that is a very difficult skip pass. A lot of guys might have tried to jack this shot up right here. He's got 2 people on him. Very unselfish. That's a difficult pass. He made it look easy, and I think the key thing, he's a willing passer out of those double teams in the post.
Yeah, something John Shire saw throughout the high school process with Lively. Filipowski had those couple of early threes and an offensive foul on Filipowski, drawn by Bash Whelan. Hey, Saturday's rivalry weekend college football matchup, a series that dates back to 1950. It's Miami trying to get bowl eligible against Pitt at 7-4. Our coverage starts at 8 Eastern right here on ACC Network and the ESPN app. Bash Whelan being tended to by the Bellarmine training staff, taking the brunt of that. How about Ryan Young? Last game for Duke, he was putting his contacts in like as he was walking back up the floor. Multi-talented.
And he is going to be another guy, again, coming off the bench for Jon Scheyer, brings that experience. I had a funny conversation with Jon Scheyer about the conversation he had with Coach Collins at Northwestern, and he said, look, you can say it on air, he had 4 years of bad coaching at Northwestern, but certainly this is a huge pickup for Duke, having his experience in the lineup to go along with these young, talented freshmen.
Lead is 11 for Duke. Coming up on 8 to go in this first half, with Young applying pressure on Kurt Hof. Freen for Hof, and the pass too strong for Suter, and turnover number 3 for Bellarmine. Well, Duke is clicking so far in this first half here at home against the Knights.
Find out where that road leads. Take on any challenge. When you have the #1 brand in dependability, you stop thinking about what you can't do and start doing what you never thought possible. Kia, movement that inspires.
This is 100% fresh beef, with 2 slices of melted cheese, pickles, onions, ketchup, and mustard. This is a burger that strongly suggests you take a seat. It marks its territory, leaving behind a graveyard of napkins, and won't be contained by a humble sesame seed bun. This is the Quarter Pounder with cheese.
Buckets, and assists on 7 of them, Puck.
It's been beautiful offense early on. Extra passes right here. Mitchell has been impressive. Dribble, drive, kick, unselfish basketball. Again, Mark Mitchell, heads up play, and they're getting quality looks. 7 assists so far in the first half, and it's been off of great ball movement. All of them have been willing passers, whether it's in the post or off of dribble drives. Jon Scheyer has to be pleased with how his team has started this game off.
And again, with newness for this group. Second game with the full complement of the freshman phenoms, with the whole gang able to play and feeling their way through that, but looking pretty rhythmic offensively. Young, another very good post passer, back out for Roach. Working on Betts, preseason all-conference defensive player of the year in the A-Sub. Shot clock below 10. Proctor on a jab step, triggers. Bounces out, offensive rebound, Young, and the stick back.
Right now, Duke dominating the glass. That time, Ryan Young on the offensive glass. That was a huge concern for Bellarmine and their staff.
Tipton couldn't muscle it up. Yeah, Scott Davenport said this weekend that Duke might be the best offensive rebounding team he's seen in his life. Not afraid of hyperbole.
He's been around a while, and certainly their length and then the activity of their guys.
Now Roach hits a 3. That's the 7th made triple for Duke this half. Foul away from the ball goes on Mark Mitchell, and that's his first.
Fouls the call on Duke, number 25, Mark Mitchell. That is his first team foul, number 5.
Now, those are the fouls that Jon Scheyer said we cannot have. Away from the ball, you don't want to overcommit, and he said, look, it's easier said than done, but the reality of it is Bellarmine, they do not take a lot of threes, so you don't want to get fouls out beyond the three-point line. You want to be in good position, but do not foul them when they get into their cuts.
Mitchell's making sure he has all his teeth accounted for on the Duke bench. Late shot clock for Bash Whelan. Gives it up for Hatton. Looking for somewhere to go. He finds Betts in the waning seconds. And Betts gets it to go around Ryan Young.
I mean, that's a great defensive possession. I won't say great, but it's a pretty good defensive possession. But Betts that time somehow got that 3 to go.
And then an offensive foul on Derek Whitehead. Suter takes the charge.
All right, here again, Ryan Young, you don't want to leave your feet, but again, that's a tough shot. And he was able to get that go. Again, they're going to get the shot clock deep. Bellarmine, that's what they want to do, slow the pace of this game down. And obviously, they were able to make that 3, but if you're Duke, I think you'll live with that defensive possession.
Second 3 for Betts. He told us pregame his first collegiate start was here 2 years ago. As Suter finishes at the rim on a nice drawn-up play and the delivery from Dash Wheeling. Betts' first start here 2 years ago. Remembers looking up across the court right as the ball's being tipped and staring right at Coach K.
Said, welcome to college basketball.
Young draws a foul inside. Second foul on Garrett Tipton. Young's good on the first. ACC PM with Pack, Trey, and Taylor. They talk football and a lot more from around the conference. Weekdays 4 Eastern right here on ACCN and the ESPN app. Young makes both. Derek Whitehead, by the way, on the bench with 2 fouls himself for Duke in this first half. Suter doesn't have the size advantage on Young. He's comfortable in the mid-post. Freshman bounces out for Wheeling. Working on Grandison. Suter on the crossover. Boy, he is impressive for a rookie.
But that's the matchup you want to go to if you get switched off. Suter in that situation obviously has a speed and quickness advantage over Ryan Young. Again, that's excellent offense by Bellarmine.
Half dozen for Suter, the freshman from Carmel, Indiana. Grandison, another 3. 8 of them for Duke in the first half.
And that's what he is here for, provides that floor spacer. Again, can't ask for a better look if you're John Shire. Ball movement, extra pass. Grandison knocked down another 3.
On the face-up on Young. Betts bounces for Wheeling. Great cut, great feed. And John Shire will take a timeout. This is pretty offense from Bellarmine.
If you sleep for 1 second against this team, they will make you pay. Duke's still up.
Each year, St. Jude Children's Research Hospital works to improve the lives of kids and their families around the world. And this holiday season, Kia wants to help. We're continuing our tradition of helping others by expanding Kia's Accelerate the Good partnership with St. Jude and making a donation for every new car purchased during the holidays. Join us and help celebrate Kia's season of giving back. Kia, movement that inspires.
I remember when I first started flying and we would experience turbulence, I would watch the flight attendants. If they're not nervous, then I'm not going to be nervous. Financially, I'm the flight attendant in that situation. The relief that comes over people once they know they've got a guide to help them through, I definitely feel privileged to be in that position.
Those guys, I've never seen a team pass the ball so much in my life. I've never seen a team not dribble the ball like that. It was a work of art. I know we're not playing that team, I can tell you that. We will not schedule them as long as I'm living, I promise that.
I mean, Eric Musselman's getting ready for Maui. He's talking about Louisville. Somehow Bellarmine comes up, and Scott Davenport said to us today at shoot-around, Eric Musselman wouldn't know who I was if I walked into a closed practice, yet Bellarmine elicits that kind of response.
I tell you right now, I mean, you watch them play, and I've seen a lot of basketball. I've yet, and I would agree with Eric Musselman, I've yet to see somebody run their offense the way they do. I mean, it's almost like hockey. You can't keep up with who has the ball and all the movement. Really, when they get it going, it's a thing of beauty, and certainly very difficult to match up against.
Grandison. 8 first-half points for Jacob Grandison. This Bellarmine offense has made each of its last 4 shots. The back cut that got Wheatland free behind Roach before the timeout.
Credit Duke, though, early on, they've done a nice job containing dribble drives, and then they've contested shots.
Corner jumper doesn't go for Langdon Hatton, and he hears it from the Crazies. Grandison feeling good, wanted another, and then Lively battles on the boards. And let's see, Ted Valentine reverses course and gives the ball to Bellarmine.
Well, I think defensively, John Shire has to be pleased with how his team has communicated. Again, he said that's going to be key. Post defense and then the communication when they do get beat. He said, look, we know we're going to get beat at times. The rotations on the back end have been very good for Duke, and they've negated any open looks, really a lot of contested shots for Bellarmine.
That's shut off by Filipowski, who again stays grounded defensively. Inside of 3 minutes to go until halftime. Whelan going to work. Can't get it to go over Roach. Grandison cross court for Roach. And Betts, boy, he is so sturdy defensively. Extra pass, Hof. Johnson on the baseline drive, slips it for Hof for 2.
That's beautiful interior passing. All that time opportunistic in transition. Now that's not something they wanted to do with this Duke team, but when they get opportunities, they are so good passing the ball. Excellent transition offense that time by Bellarmine.
Good shot fake from Filipowski, and he got fouled. We'll go to the line for 2. First foul on Kurt Hof.
This is something Coach Davenport talked about, being opportunistic in your break right here. Nice little interior pass. The help is late. That's one of the few times Duke was late on their rotation. Bellarmine made them pay.
That's about as fast as Bellarmine will go. They play at the 7th slowest tempo in the country, according to Ken Pop. Hey, Saturday college football, it's rivalry weekend. Pitt, Miami, right here on ACC Network. Coverage starts at 8 Eastern on ACCN and the app. Abel Bryanton, Hasselbeck, Kelsey Riggs, the entire crew, Coral Gables. Filipowski's good on both, and he has 8 here in the first half for the Blue Devils. Whelan spinning on Grandison for a tough 2 for Bash Whelan. He's got a half dozen for Bellarmine.
Yeah, that's a tough shot. Lively came over on the help side too. He still was able to get that to go up and over off the beautiful spin move.
Senior playing with a lot of confidence early on this season. Roach rises. Off the mark. Offensive rebound Filipowski, and then he lost the handle to Whelan. Deficit a dozen for Bellarmine. Inside of 90 seconds to go until halftime and a chance to pull closer. Johnson cut off by Roach. Now Suter. Betts comes to get it. Driving on Proctor. Off the hesitation, and Betts, no. Filipowski driving to the cup, and he's fouled.
So Filipowski and Roach do an excellent job with their shot fakes. Again, you have to honor it because Filipowski has shot the ball well. Started the game off with 2 threes, but their footwork off of the shot fake, really impressive. And again, that's a guy that's 6'11". He is going to continue to be a matchup nightmare for opposing teams. He can go down low on smaller guys. He's got great footwork, but speaking with John Shire, he said the thing about him that he's been impressed with, his commitment to defense. He said, look, he has slid his feet really well on the defensive end, something that they've been working with him on and challenge him. And defensively, he has been solid for Duke as well, too.
He said he's got an edge to him as well, which you watch Duke early on the first 4 games of the season, you see that. Whole lot of skill with Kyle Filipowski.
I'm not sure too many people at the beginning of the season would have thought Kyle Filipowski would be leading Duke in points per game and rebounds, but that's what he's doing right now. An impressive start for the freshman.
Number 7 in our ESPN 100. He's got 10, goes to the bench. Final minute, first half. The lead at 14 for number 8 Duke. Suter trying to muscle in on Proctor, plus the foul for Pete Suter.
You can see why John Shire and staff were working the last 2 days on post defense. He said yesterday that's what they like doing, that they will try to post their guards up. Big boy move right here, and Proctor will learn it has to be better when that first bump. You can't let him get 2 feet into the paint. That's what Shire talked about. You must try to contain them and keep them out of the key.
And so Suter's got 9. Had some quieter games against Louisville, against Clemson, but did have 24 in their loss to Morehead State earlier this season. Proctor initiates. Kicks for Grandison. And the rebound bats, and Bellarmine can hold for the final shot. The first half in which Duke is led by as many as 16. Bellarmine trying to get it to single digits. Betts yanks it back and hits. Justin Betts ahead of the horn, his 3rd 3 of the half, and it's an 8-point game at the break.
You cannot ask for a better end right here. Betts, step back, contested, big time jumper at the buzzer.
Bellarmine, as we welcome you back. Malcolm Huckabee, Mike Monaco here with you, and Justin Betts hit 2 very high degree of difficulty threes for Bellarmine, and that's why we've got an 8-point game.
Yeah, I mean, they've hit some tough shots. I think the other key stat, they've only had 3 turnovers in that first half. They took care of the ball. They got deep into the shot clock right here. Not bad defense by Duke. That's just a big-time shot by Betts. Their ball movement, you know it was going to be there. Duke stayed home at times, but then when you make a mistake against them, they are going to make you pay. Some of the best offense you will see, best offensive movement in college basketball.
Talk about Betts with 2 very hard threes, in particular of the 3 that he knocked down. Pete Suter with 9 points as well. You heard Booz talking about that. Other side for Duke, they've had 8 made threes.
Yeah, John Shire has to be pleased with how his team shared the ball offensively. Mitchell continues to impress with his playmaking. That time, dribble drive, unselfish kick out. Again, another heads-up play by Mitchell to Jeremy Roach. Duke had 9 assists in that first half. They also took care of the ball, only 5 turnovers. They shot 47% from the three-point line, and a lot of them were off of excellent ball movement, and they were wide-open looks. On the other end, though, Bellarmine, again, they hit some tough shots to stay within striking distance of this game. But if you're John Shire, you look at the stats, offensively, you have to be pleased with how your team played.
You saw Kyle Filipowski, and you see the note. 10 points in 8 minutes for Kyle Filipowski. who's out there with the other 4 starters who began the game for a second consecutive game for John Shire. Now to begin the second half. Wheelan nearly poked it away from Proctor. Betts is on Filipowski. Another good shot fake into a Mitchell 3 from the corner. Second triple for Mark Mitchell, and now 9 made threes for the Blue Devils.
Well, Filipowski has some of the best footwork. Again, off the shot fake, 6'11" guy, dribble drive, kick out to a 3.
Suter walked with it. And you just have to respect Filipowski so much with the outside shot that we've seen already. And then the skill and the footwork to go shot fake, kick out.
Well, you knew he was talented. Again, one of the top players coming into this year, freshman, but it's how he's scoring. Again, he's doing it within the offense, that time making a play for his teammate. And at 6'11", he is going to be a matchup nightmare for opposing teams.
He rises and hits. 13 for Filipowski. Tipton had a slow shooting first half, just 1 of 6 from the floor. Hof got lively in the air, and then Betts nearly lost it. Hof, he can step out and shoot it. 6'8", the sophomore from Montgomery, Indiana, farm boy in the southern part of the state. All-conference, all-freshman team last year.
Yeah, and any mistake, again, that's a couple times we've seen in this game. 50-50 ball, somebody slips, they will make you pay anytime.
Picked off by Suter. And he finishes, and it's back down to single digits for Bellarmine.
And Suter has played really good both ends for Bellarmine. That time, lazy pass, just shot the gap, uncontested layup off the turnover.
Proctor got tangled there with Garrett Tipton, and Proctor went hobbling to the corner. Top of your screen, still grimacing and hunched over. Iron on a triple try, and then a foul on the rebounding action goes against Bellarmine.
Right now, Bellarmine 8 to 7 in favor of points off of turnovers. They're doing a good job creating some offense with their defense. That right there, he just read the eyes of the passer the entire time, shot the gap. You can't ask for a better or easier deuce that time.
I feel like Pete Suter has a very bright future. Not often that a freshman is starting from day 1 for this program. He did just pick up his 3rd foul. Duke by 9 on the inbound for Filipowski. Roach is fouled by Bash Wheelan. That's 2 on Wheelan.
Well, how is Bellarmine hanging into this game? Yes, we've talked about their offense, but I think taking care of the ball in that first half, only 3 turnovers, and that's something Coach Davenport talked about. We cannot give Duke those live ball turnovers.
Filipowski, no. Lively the offensive rebound. Roach. Season high 11th 3 for Duke. Hope drives on Lively. Back out for Betts. Shot clock at 10. Hand off for Suter. Kick out Wheelan. Off target in the mid-range. Roach on the head-to-head from Proctor. Lively the stuff.
Well, that's what you want your captain to do, Jeremy Roach. I'll say it again, the most important player on this Duke roster in transition, unselfish play that time to Derek Lively.
Who 23 minutes into this game has not just his first points, his first shot attempt in this game. But a counter from Bellarmine, the lead a dozen for Duke early on second half.
Find out where that road leads. Take on any challenge. When you have the #1 brand in dependability, you stop thinking about what you can't do and start doing what you never thought possible. Kia, movement that inspires.
I remember when I first started flying and we would experience turbulence, I would watch the flight attendants. If they're not nervous, then I'm not going to be nervous. Financially, I'm the flight attendant in that situation. The relief that comes over people once they know they've got a guide to help them through, I definitely feel privileged to be in that position.
Made threes, and Kyle Filipowski, Jeremy Roach been involved.
I think similar to last year when Wendell Moore Jr. was their most important player, maybe not their most talented. I think Jeremy Roach is the clear leader of this team right here in transition. He brings so much experience. You look at the run he had last year in the NCAA tournament. So much is on his shoulders this year. I think the direction of this team, his leadership, he's shooting the ball really well. I think the big number, though, that 4 assists, getting guys in position, it's so key to have a floor leader like him out there, in particular with this young but talented group.
John Shire told us at shoot-around today, the Kansas game, the Champions Classic, other guys were nervous, he said. Jeremy wasn't. From the get-go, he had that effect on his teammates. Mitchell on a baseline drive, got his own miss, and then he was the last to touch it.
A lot of contact, and John Shire not happy with the no call.
So first 3.5 minutes out of halftime. Bellarmine hanging around. Suter's got Lively on. Shot clock below 10. Back out Tipton. Shadowed by Proctor. Hope off the shot fake. Into the mid-range. Nicely done. Got Mitchell in the air.
And that's something the coaching staff was talking about in shoot-around. You must stay down on their ball fakes. Again, Bellarmine not a team that makes a lot of threes. You have to be disciplined in your defensive philosophies. Don't go for the ball fakes.
Proctor spinning and skipping. Filipowski draws a Wheeland foul. Third foul on Bash Wheeland. So just over 4 minutes into this second half, we've got a 10-point game at Cameron. Back cuts a concern for John Shire, and that was one of the teaching points at shoot-around today. Break it down on film.
Yeah, understanding the scouting report, John Shire, Chris Carrawell, they said if they dribble at you, they're trying to set up a back door. That time, Filipowski understanding what they're trying to do, Bellarmine in their offense, not biting for the overplay there and then getting set up for a back door. That is so key for young players, and John Shire said that's the big reason why he's happy to have all these guys back. Those little teaching points, that right there, excellent job of understanding the scouting report by Filipowski.
Grandison comes in off the bench and cans another 3. That's his 3rd, and Jacob Grandison has 11. As much as Filipowski maybe wanted to bite, almost had a flinch there, and then remembered the teaching point.
And that's why Shire is more impressed, not just with the offense, but he said really his improvement defensively and his commitment to be good defensively. That's what he is very pleased with.
Tipton, shot clock at 4, slips it for Hope, and it rimmed out. Battle on the boards, Lively wins it. Blake's kicks, Mitchell rises, and a line drive 3 doesn't go.
That's the one area with Mitchell, getting a little bit more arc on his shot. And he shot the ball well at times. I think that's an adjustment in his shooting mechanics and also the trajectory on the ball. Shot seems to be a little flat at times.
Tipton drives on Blake's. Rebound Lively again. Roach pushes. Floater short. 6 minutes into this second half. Duke by 13. Picked off by Mitchell. Mitchell with the flush. Johnson on the drive plus a foul. Boy, big time counter, much needed for Ben Johnson after the Mark Mitchell slam.
Well, this right here, though, excellent defense by Mitchell. He's so versatile, can play multiple positions, and then in transition, nice little Euro step and finish with the dunk. All set up by great denial on the wing.
Mitchell to the bench. Tariq Whitehead in for the first time this half. A couple of fouls, 6 minutes for him in the first half. And Ben Johnson at the stripe, the redshirt freshman from Lexington, Kentucky. Stamps a three-point play.
Well, they continue to hang around in this game. Bellarmine, they're doing an excellent job not turning the ball over. And then they've been opportunistic whenever there's been an opening in this Duke defense.
Now they need a stop. Offensive foul will get him that. Well, you can pencil in Justin Betts for a few of those. It feels like every game for Bellarmine defensively.
And John Shire and assistant coach Chris Carrawell must have mentioned that at least 10 times in shoot-around. Look, if you drive out of control, he's going to try to take a charge every time.
Here to Nick Thielen. Swings it over for Suter. Proctor walls him off. Hof. Short from three. Rebound Proctor and a foul on Thielen. Duke has dominated the boards as well here in the second half.
Yeah, that's a great job of blocking out that time by the freshman, Tyrese Proctor.
Who had a double-double on Friday.
John Shire and staff really just rave about his potential. I called the first game. Didn't have a great game offensively, but the thing that popped out, he was right there with his teammates cheering on Coach Shire's first win. They said he is a great teammate and just love the energy that he brings.
Whitehead. That's short from three. Betts runs it down. Johnson skips it. Suter. Can't connect. Rebound nearly went in off the deflection, and then Hof is fouled. It's on Tariq Whitehead. And that's 3 on him. Hey, we've seen some amazing fans across the ACC. Now we need your help this winter. ACCN wants to experience each sport from your perspective. So snap a pic or take a video and tag it with the hashtag #AllTheDevotion and post it to your social. You might see it here on ACC Network. Johnson on a pivot. He came up short after he dropped Ryan Young. Does stay with Bellarmine. Where do you feel most confident in Bellarmine getting its offense from?
Well, right now, they're getting some good looks from the three-point line. They've been able to break this Duke defense down. They haven't turned it over. Their guards just continue to need to keep doing what they're doing. But again, they're right within striking distance, only down 12.
Hope drives. Grandison helps. Back out Johnson. Deep one short. Rebound Young. Blakes, why not? He hits. Suter gave it to him, and Jalen Blakes connects.
John Shire raved about Blake, said, look, he is going to be key for us defensively, solid, but offensively, that's a big three to push this thing to 15.
Sophomore from New Jersey. He's already scored more points early on this season in 5 games than he did all of last year in a limited role. Young the rebound off the Hof miss. Grandison. Blake's the extra pass for Proctor. And the rebound down to Johnson.
You can't ask for a better look. A nice extra pass that time by Blakes. Proctor wide open. You can't ask for anything better if you're John Shire.
Feels like Bellarmine really needs a bucket here. Duke hasn't made that big run yet in this game, but that threat always looming. Grandison stays down with Johnson. Forces him into a tough one. Whitehead. Too strong, rebound Suter. He's running the floor. Suter left alone. Back iron.
For the game, Bellarmine only 5 threes made. 36%. They've had some opportunities on this end right here. If you're Duke, you don't want to fall in love with the three.
Blakes misses that one, but Duke's got 13 of them.
Find out where that road leads. Take on any challenge. When you have the #1 brand in dependability, you stop thinking about what you can't do and start doing what you never thought possible. Kia, movement that inspires.
This is 100% fresh beef. With 2 slices of melted cheese, pickles, onions, ketchup, and mustard. This is a burger that strongly suggests you take a seat. It marks its territory, leaving behind a graveyard of napkins. And won't be contained by a humble sesame seed bun. This is the Quarter Pounder with cheese.
This is high-level energy. You talk about size, they got size. That's awesome. That is big time. Competitive spirit, the championship effort.
This game is not for the soft of body or weak of mind.
Just looking forward to that. Because we got one heck of a match.
Starts a week from today, the ACC Big Ten Challenge. You will be in Evanston. I'll be in Blacksburg. We've got great matchups, including these ones. How about number 5, Virginia? They're going to play in the ACC Big Ten Challenge a week from tomorrow. They have 2 huge wins just this past weekend, Baylor and Illinois.
And somehow it feels like they're kind of under the radar. We're not talking about them enough. For me, that team, obviously, you know they're going to defend, and they have one of the premier floor leaders out there. Tony Bennett, again, would not be surprised to see them go on another long NCAA tournament run.
Up to 5th in the country in the poll that comes out today. North Carolina stays at 1. They had a win yesterday against James Madison, part of 4 games at home to start the season. They will be out in Portland as well, just like John Shire's team, which will play Thursday against Oregon State. Betts, a lot of pivoting. Midway through this second half, tenuous spot for Bellarmine. Shot clock at 5. Betts on Filipowski. Left hand, doesn't get the roll. Offensive rebound, and Hof is fouled. Second foul on Derek Lively, and just the 4th offensive rebound for Bellarmine.
Hof has had a solid game for Bellarmine. 8 points. Has been really good on the glass. 3 rebounds. Again, just another one of those guys within their offense that seems like he's constantly in motion. Very difficult to match up against.
Up to 9 points. He was in some foul trouble at Clemson on Friday. We told you that was a 1-point game at the under 8 timeout in the second half. Hope late in that game went out of it, and that's when Clemson went on a run. They scored a lot on the interior as Bellarmine went small and Hope was out of the game. Tipton has not got in a rhythm yet. On a follow-away that he loves. He hits, plus a foul. That has become a patented move for Garrett Tipton.
And that's what John Shire talked to his guards about in shoot-around. They're going to put their guards in the post. You just want to make sure they shoot contested twos. You do not want to try to put them on the free throw line. He talked about this. All of them very good free throw shooters. Proctor in pretty good position right there. Just came down with the hand. And again, that's not what you want to do in post defense right there.
So from 17, it's down to 12. Still 9 minutes to go in this second half. Slips it for Lively. Couldn't finish through the contact from Suter. And Lively gets to his feet. Bellarmine with numbers. Betts bounces for a cutting Wheeland, who wasn't expecting it. And Betts a little bit frustrated for Bellarmine with the turnover.
Yeah, that's a break for Duke. Wheeland not realizing nobody was on him. He's making his cut through the basket. All he had to do was stop, and he had a layup. And then right here, hard to see from that angle if there was any contact. And then on the other end, that's a break, though, for Duke. Again, Wheeland, if he stops, he's got a layup.
Missed opportunity indeed for the Knights. Young sets the screen for Roach. And now Proctor. Roach a 3. Short, offensive rebound. Roach to the rim for 2. For Jeremy Roach, just 1 turnover. Wheeland. Filipowski stayed down with him all the way.
And that's the key thing. That's great individual defense that time. They're not going for those shot fakes.
Mitchell. Rattles it out. Filipowski again on the boards for Proctor. Duke is getting fantastic looks all over. Suter. Back out for Betts. Scoreless in this second half after 9 in the first half on 3 triples. Tipton. Elbow jumper, no. Suter keeps it alive. Fresh 20 for Bellarmine. Tipton lost the handle, and it goes back to Duke. 6:48 to go. Duke up by 14 at home. Back at Cameron, Duke's had 9 guys in the rotation. Second game with the full roster at full strength. So we thought it'd be interesting. How do the minutes get parsed out? How do they get distributed? This is how it's been so far in this one.
Yeah, and I think it's a luxury that John Shire and staff has. It's a great problem to have when you have this type of depth and rotation. I think the biggest thing, whoever comes in, you can see the way they're playing offensively tonight. They're sharing the ball. Certainly not too many teams can go 9 or 10 deep.
In Whitehead, that'll obviously change. This is only his second game of his collegiate career, coming back from the fracture in his foot. And John Shire told us today it might take a few weeks for him to be at full game shape the way you would expect when the season's humming along mid-season. So that with some foul trouble in the first half. Duke by 14, 6.5 to go. Young back out for Roach. Long 2. Young battles on the boards, and he draws a foul on Hope. So many shots this second half for Duke have come from the perimeter, whether they're long twos like that or three-point shots. I mean, Duke has attempted 33 threes in this game.
And I think it's not the number, it's how they've gotten those threes and how open they've been. Most of them have been off of excellent ball movement. Some corner threes just have not gone. They've had some quality looks, though, from beyond the arc.
So you're good with it? You think they've all come within the flow, you're fine with it?
Well, again, obviously you don't want to fall in love with it, but right there, if you're John Shire, you would prefer some uncontested layups, but they've taken what Bellarmine has given them.
Yeah, Jalen, if you get that right there, take it. Right to the rim for Blakes. He's got 8. Hope. No dice from 3. Mitchell the rebound. Bellarmine just 1 of 6 from long range since halftime. Mitchell walks with it, and a turnover. 8th one for Duke. Coming up on 5 to go. The lead for Duke has been as large as 17. Wheeland. Shut off by Young. Nice pass to a cutting Hof for 2.
And that's one where Mitchell, again, you cannot fall asleep. They will go backdoor that time out of the post. Mitchell fell asleep, got beat on that cut. And because of their spacing, it's very hard to help.
Hof's got 11, leading the way along with Suter's 11 for Bellarmine. Almost a carry there. Anderson feeds Young. Spinning on Hof. Help from Betts. It does stay at this end with Duke.
And this is why they are so difficult to guard. Again, right here you think you have them and then fall asleep for a second. They're going to have cutters going to the basket. They're constantly in motion 1 through 5. You must be alert at all times.
1.3 on the shot clock, so Roach had to get it up. And then Duke battles on the glass, and they draw another foul by attacking the boards.
Well, that's been the other key area advantage to Duke. 33 to 21, the advantage for them on the glass. They've done a nice job on the defensive and offensive glass. Filipowski and Ryan Young have in the second half done a nice job creating some second chance opportunities.
Hey, Saturday, 6 Eastern, the ACC Huddle crew will have a complete wrap-up of the afternoon football games. They'll get you set for the primetime matchup as well between Pitt and Miami here on ACCN at 8 o'clock. All right here, also available on the app. Filipowski's first miss at the line. Does have 14 points to lead Duke in this one. Wheelan. It looks like Nelly. Got the Band-Aid on still. Finishes on the block. A 13-point game. We tick under 4 to go. Shot clock below 5. Blakes, tough shot, and the rebound Hof. Wheelan going back to that block again, spinning on Proctor this time, well defended. And a timeout with 3:02 to go. Duke by 13, trying to finish off Bellarmine.
Each year, St. Jude Children's Research Hospital works to improve the lives of kids and their families around the world. And this holiday season, Kia wants to help. We're continuing our tradition of helping others by expanding Kia's Accelerate the Good partnership with St. Jude and making a donation for every new car purchased during the holidays. Join us and help celebrate Kia's season of giving back. Kia, movement that inspires.
This is 100% fresh beef. With 2 slices of melted cheese, pickles, onions, ketchup, and mustard. This is a burger that strongly suggests you take a seat. It marks its territory, leaving behind a graveyard of napkins. And won't be contained by a humble sesame seed bun. This is the Quarter Pounder with cheese.
Threes in the first half for Duke and 5 more in the second half, Hawk.
Yeah, it's been impressive. 17 assists on this game. They're shooting close to 40%, 39% on the game from beyond the arc. I think it's the quality of looks. That one right there, probably the only one that was not assisted. Excellent ball movement, the spacing, and again, it's been a theme for Jon Scheyer every time we've spoken to him. Sharing the ball, he has to be pleased with how his team has performed thus far offensively.
33 three-point attempts against his 19 two-point shots. But as you said, a lot of them within the flow of the offense, and they have served Duke well. Inside of 3 minutes to go, second half. Leading by 13 on Bellarmine. Duke trying to get to 4-1 before going to Portland. Filipowski off the glass.
And that's all set up. Your leader, Jeremy Roach, understanding Filipowski has a mismatch on him. Get him the ball, let him go to work.
Johnson a miss from deep. And then a foul on the rebounding action drawn by Hoth. It's on Filipowski, and that's his second.
And Mike, this is why Jeremy Roach is so valuable to this Duke team. That's all set up. Him recognizing time and score, and then realizing he hasn't had a touch in a little bit, but he's got a smaller player on him. Get him in the right position, feed him the ball. That's what you want your leader and captain to do.
And then a front end miss by Hoth. There's Roach at the controls again. Lively going high-low with Filipowski, and a foul on the floor. Saturday football, it's Pitt, Miami in primetime right here on ACC Network, 8 o'clock Eastern, also available on the ESPN app. Hawk, big picture with Duke, how do you feel about it? 5 games in, you've now seen them live and in person a couple of times.
Winning. And Jon Scheyer talked about this, understanding how to play at the end of games. I think the biggest thing out of this is they're finally healthy, playing together with his full unit. I think the thing that's really impressive, Kyle Filipowski, he continues to impress, but I think the other thing is the rotation. They are really a 9 or 10 deep team, a luxury that not too many college teams have.
Once Whitehead is back in the flow, fully, more than just 2 games back, who goes to the bench? Like, who is not in that starting lineup?
Yeah, that's probably the only difficult situation you have, who comes in off the bench. But certainly I think that's a problem that most coaches would like to have. Which talented player do you have to have coming off of the bench?
Johnson trying to muscle on Roach. That's short. And Proctor's played very well over these last couple of games now after finding his rhythm. Roach, you obviously know what you have in him. He's absolutely going to be in that starting group. Mitchell's been really effective. Lively, Filipowski, Whitehead.
Well, the one thing that Jon Scheyer has is this guy with the ball in his hands right here. You know he is going to be out on the court the majority of the time.
And how about Jacob Grandison? His 4th 3, 16 points today. John Shire was so pleased with how he played Friday because he didn't play a ton in the Champions Classic against Kansas. He didn't score, only played 10 minutes, and John Shire spoke to the team and said, look, there are going to be games like that. We've talked about the depth. We've talked about the distribution of the minutes, and he thought Grandison really typified that on Friday against Delaware, and it has continued here today from Grandison. There's that edge from Filipowski.
John Shire smiled. But back to your point about Grandison, that's what he does right there. He spaces the floor. Again, Jeremy Roach with his imprint on the game. And Filipowski, John Shire had a smile when we spoke to him at shoot-around. He said, plays with the edge. He's just got a certain edge about him. You see it right there in that situation. 47 seconds left, and he is down on the floor going after a loose ball.
Ted Valentine came over for a conversation with John Shire after this tie-up.
Yeah, I think he was going to have Teddy Valentine had a word with Filipowski.
Filipowski was pleased to come away with that loose ball. Gotta love the fire from the freshman. Roach drives, kicks it back. Grandison wants another. Cleared by Johnson.
Well, on the other side, Bellarmine is going to come up short. And people are going to look at this score and say, it was a 20-point game. But it was a lot closer than the score would indicate. They gave Duke all they could handle. Again, one of those teams that is a matchup nightmare. But credit Duke's defense. John Shire has to be pleased defensively how his team was, but I was really impressed with how they shared the ball offensively.
Jacob Grandison all smiles. He had 16. Kyle Filipowski in a second consecutive game goes for 18 and 8 after those 3 double-doubles at the start. That does it for Malcolm Huckabee, Mike Monaco, our entire crew, saying so long after the break. Drew Carter with Carlos Boozer in the studio.
Basketball. Hope your plans are ready for Thanksgiving. Get your turkey ready, get your stuffing, your pumpkin pie. Get ready to watch some really good basketball. We've seen a bunch already. Plus, it's rivalry week in college football. Clemson and South Carolina, both those teams